Lyndon! I can't hear you, Lyndon! You're beautiful, Lyndon, Region 10. You're making Guyana proud, as usual. Let me take the opportunity to recognize amidst the distinguished ladies and gentlemen on the stage. But let me, more than anything else, take this opportunity to recognize our prime ministerial candidate, Mr. Moses Nagamutu. And mine and your president in waiting, Mr. David Granger. Yes, we will. But we will only do so as a unified people, where Lyndon, Region 10, more than anywhere else, will be able to demonstrate that unity that nowhere else can demonstrate that. And I believe it was most fitting for us to have this launching here this evening and to start in the birthplace. As I would like to say, Lyndon is not a place, Lyndon is a person, and a beautiful person in which we all recognize. It was in a recent gathering that we had recognized that it is only by the platform of unity, that unity where our nation was lacking for the past 65 years, that two leaders, in Mr. Nagamutu and Mr. Granger, for the unity that would have eluded us for many years to bring this nation together. And Guyanese, we should be proud to want to come together. I reminded that meeting that unity was eluding this nation, and that unity is what the PPP fears more than anything else. I remind them that unity is what the APNU AFC offers, and it is imperative at this juncture of our history that unity effort succeed for the good of the people of this nation. For not only our lives as individuals are threatened, but by the collective we face dire consequences should we fail to unite as a people. We are not prepared to fail. Region 10, are we prepared to fail? Failing is not an option. That we must embrace. So any obstacle in our way, once it is created by man, we will overcome. This national alliance, formed by the APNU and the AFC, offers you a national government of unity, a government of unity where all can participate in the decision-making process and share equally in the national pie. It would be wrong of me to speak of unity and a national front government without recognizing the efforts of our predecessors who have built upon their struggles, and we must continue to do so, since we shape the world and the next generation inherit. It is with this call, Lyndon, Region 10, people of Guyana, that both Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum and Chetty B. Jagan, who in 1950 came together under united political force to battle against the colonial oppressors. That first unity effort saw the separation that was fueled by those who sought to take advantage of us. A separation that we, with your help and support, under the banner of the APNU AFC government, will mend after the 11th of May, 65 years later. We are now united again and against a domestic oppressor. Those who oppress us are now those who we have put in power. And those are the people, come May 11th, we will have to remove by the ballot and your X by the symbol that represents the hand on the key where you hold the future to change this nation. We have often heard of stories of their efforts between these two great gentlemen, Guyanese political champions, working together towards a national front government. This was recently confirmed by our prime ministerial candidate, Mr. Moses Nagamutu, who said he acted as emissary between Dr. Chetty Jagan and Mr. Forbes Barnum. during their efforts at forging a government of national unity. What is most important is that both of them recognized the need to share. One was prepared to give and the other prepared to take. So moving forward, we too must be prepared to give and be prepared to take, so that all can share Guyana's development and success. We must acknowledge that in forging a nation, in moving forward from independence to a cooperative republic, requires laying some groundwork for nation building, of which unity was a precondition. And we must remember, we must honor, build upon, deepen those early efforts that saw the national policies that manifest today in a non-determinational public education, national holidays and festivals, renaming of places, establishment of monuments. We must recognize that unity is not only merely forged by being in the same space and having the same goals. Unity must be strengthened by respect for each other and those achievements, historical contributions towards national development of our country, in equal participation in the decision-making and in respect for the Constitution that enshrines the rights of all. We do not dwell in the past, but we learn from many examples as children will tomorrow learn from ours. You, my people, must want it. You must want your leaders to envision it, for it is your hands that hold these keys. It is your hands that will cast the deciding judgment with your ex. Brothers and sisters, come May 11th, when you enter that poll booth, when you enter that small space, you hold the power, you hold the change that this country so desperately needs. Those in government are trembling because of your power to change this nation. People of Guyana, do not fear, for regardless of where you are, from the coastal belts of Region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, to the mountainous lands and the lush rainforests of Region 7 and 8, the grasslands of Region 9, or the hilly sands and clay of your proud and very own Region 10, we are and will be united as one people, one nation, and one destiny, giving true meaning and strength to Article 13 of our Constitution that requires us to pursue inclusionary democracy. United, we will put our hearts and our hands and our heads together to build this nation that belongs to us, to unlock the potential that we have put an end to this era of executive lawlessness, corruption, violence, and mismanagement, this era of selling Guyana short, and you in Region 10, more so the Berbice River know of being sold out by a government that should care for you. We will not allow our resources to be abused, our natural resources, and more so, you, our Guyanese people, to be abused. This era where bauxite workers, sugar workers are catching hell, and the sugar industry facing imminent collapse as those in high office squander goodwill of a peaceful trust of our people and try in every way to keep us separated, fighting each other. We must ensure that we fight against those who want us to fight against ourselves. And those are the people that are in the PPP government. Brothers and sisters, clearly, the evidence shows that unity is at the heart of our people, but forces inimical to our interests keep preventing us from deepening those bonds and coming together. So in doing that, contrary to building this nation for house to house, and we say this, a house divided cannot stand. And as a matter of fact, it was with unity government between the PNC headed by Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum and the United Force headed by Peter Degar that merged and gained power to remove the PPP. And this time around, it is the APNU and the AFC that will merge their forces on May 11th by your will to remove the PPP from government. In 2001, Mr. U. Desmonite, in unity platform with civil society, forces political parties, formed the PNC reform movement and entered election as the PNC reform. This was 14 years ago. In 2006, 9 years ago, the PNC, headed by Mr. Robert Corbyn, formed the unity platform with other political forces and parties in parliament, entering elections as the PNC One Guyana platform. The last effort for unity government was in 2011, led by Mr. Corbyn, who joined political forces to form the APNU, which entered election with David Granger and Rupert Roopnaraine. Under the leadership of this leader, Mr. David Granger, the APNU 3 years later has entered and merged a relationship, an opposition parliamentary coalition with the AFC. We now have David Granger, presidential candidate, and Moses Nagamutu, prime ministerial candidate. This unity is creating fear already, and we witness fear fueled by racial aggression and racist campaign speeches making to invoke racial demons to divide us. But people of Guyana, divided we fall, but united we will stand firm. The voices of Courtney Cumming has been silent to a brutal gunning down. We cast no blame, but it's more than instinctive and instructive that we must overcome this anti-government stance where activists who are prepared to use the bullhorn to mobilize for change. We are all coming tonight, and I call on you not to be silenced, for his voice must be loudly heard come May 11th, and you will ensure so. Brothers and sisters, as chairman of the RDC, I am privileged, as I know the people of Region 10 are, that the APNU AFC has chosen this region to launch its campaign for elections. It is, to my mind, testimony that we have something to offer in this region, and that is the potency and the recipe for victory. We know how to win in Region 10.